Hey guys, I'm Aero Veloce, and today I wanted to talk about a brand new firmware update for the Fanatec ecosystem. This is a pretty significant update, probably one of the best updates ever for the Podium series, and a great update all around for just the entire ecosystem. What makes it so good? Well, for the Podium series, it was a complete rewrite of the firmware, so that means a lot of the long-standing issues that's been around for a long time have finally been fixed, as well as general and force feedback improvements across the board. Most of the fixes and improvements were for the Podium series in this update, but those will still come to the CSL DD in the future. And like I said, there's still improvements across the board, as well as even for the Club Sport V3 pedals. I'm going to interrupt this video just to say real quick, I made this video a couple weeks back when the 442 driver first came out, and while I didn't personally have any issues, some people were having issues in the updating process. They have just came out with a new version of the driver that doesn't improve anything with the force feedback, but just fixes issues that people have updating, and gives people a couple recovery tools and options to downgrade if need be, if they're having any issues. The force feedback and everything in the driving experience is exactly the same, but they just did some stability and updating improvements just to make sure that nobody has any issues updating the firmware itself. I'll have the 443 driver in the link in the description down below. Now, of course, this is still a beta driver, so you may or may not encounter bugs. If you do encounter those bugs, those new recovery tools should help. But overall, with my personal experience, I haven't had any issues, and I still highly recommend to upgrade to this firmware for the driving improvements. So this is the forum page where you're going to download the update. It's going to be at the very bottom of this changelog right down here. And these are all the different changes and bug fixes and stuff that they have done for this update. So you can see there's quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to go over every detail that was changed, but there was some important ones that I wanted to point out, such as the force feedback jolts in the Podium series. If you're using the ITM screen, which is like the lap counter, gear shift, all the different information you can have on the OLED screen, it would cause jolts in the steering wheel while driving. It'd be pretty rare and pretty random, but you'd be driving, say you're in a hard turn, and then you'd feel like a jolt, or like you're on the straight, and it'll just kick at you. So as you can see, that'd be pretty annoying while driving. As far as I know, that's been going on for a long time. So this getting fixed is a really good thing. They also fixed the natural friction setting. If you're using this, you'd get some like weird feeling in the force feedback, and now that's gone. But that is still an update that needs to go to the CSL DD in the future. But it's great to see it on the Podium for now. But there's quite a few fixes here. A lot of stuff you'll see people having issues in forums and stuff. A lot of those are taken care of now, and it's really, really nice to see. Now, the other one that I would say that affects a lot of people, because a lot of people have the Club Sport V3 pedals, is the flickering in the brake input. Now, most people probably didn't know this, but there was a little bit of flickering in the signal, and now that's completely gone, as well as some improvements to the dead zone and the auto calibration and stuff like that. Now, just make sure that if you're updating your firmware to your pedals, you read this caution message. If you have the RJ12 connector and the USB port plugged in at the same time, you can brick your pedals. So make sure unplug the RJ12 connector, plug in the USB cable, update them, and then you can set it right back to how it was. So here we have the new firmware installed. I've already updated everything. You can see everything is up to date. And there's one more thing that I just wanted to mention, and that is the Moto Calibration. If you haven't done this in a while, or probably doesn't matter when you did it, with this new firmware, you're probably going to want to do it again. So undo your steering wheel, let it do its thing, and then that'll help it just be a little bit smoother as well, get that properly calibrated. There was also a new Fanatec update, so I'd recommend you get that as well, and I'll link that in the description. If you're doing your firmware update, one thing I have to mention is make sure you read the manuals, do it properly, be patient, don't force close it because you think it's too slow or something like that. Really make sure you take your time, make sure your power is not going to go out, like don't do it in a thunderstorm or anything like that. Don't do it if you're on a laptop. I've seen people run out of battery while they're doing it, and then that cut it off and they brick their wheelbase. So make sure you're really following the proper steps to do everything properly. So I think that pretty much covers it. We'll go for a test drive, see how it works out, see how everything feels, and see if everything is fixed like they say they are. All right, so we're here at Mount Panorama in the McLaren 720S. Gonna do some test driving here and see if we can notice any improvements to the force feedback. I think off the bat, one of the first things I noticed was more detail in the road texture. It feels like you can feel every little pebble on the road now. I also have the ITM display on, so I'll know if that's causing any jolts like it used to. And so far it's feeling pretty smooth. I also feel like all those little details, every little, you know, kick and such, I feel like before this update, they're a little bit harsher. Like a little, almost too harsh. Like kind of, like mechanical or maybe digital. It feels much more natural, like it's actually coming out of a steering rack, connected to suspension, connected to tires, and not just, you know, a digital motor just getting a digital signal and smacking it around, I guess. Overall, it's quite a significant improvement. Like, I was reading about this update for a while before it came out, and I was kind of just expecting some fixes, which was going to be nice, but I wasn't expecting such a difference in the actual force feedback. The pedals as well, I've had no issues with the pedals. Brake input seems to be solid. Let's see if I can get the wheel to react a little bit. One thing I've noticed in those quick reactions as well, you know, when you're trying to catch a slide, is the overall increase in smoothness in those actions as well. Those definitely feel a lot better. Before, you kind of feel that, you know, the magnets in the motor, and I wouldn't say, well, I wouldn't say they're completely gone, but man, you got to be looking for, like, you really got to be trying to be as nitpicky as possible. Like, it's really smooth. The detail on the curves is really, really nice. Those small vibrations. Overall, I'm really, really happy with this update. It's brought new life into the wheelbase. Feels absolutely amazing. I think this plus the new quick release is really going to be a game changer, as long as it's priced reasonably. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think this solved a lot of people's issues with their Fanatec wheelbases, especially the Podium series. And yeah, I'm quite happy. I don't really have any complaints right now. I haven't felt a single jolt. Everything's really buttery smooth. And the small details are there. It's a shame it took this long to get to this point, but I guess good things come to those who wait. But yeah, I am stoked. This does feel quite awesome. I am very impressed. So, final thoughts. I'm super happy with this update. It's really fixed a lot of the issues I personally had. I know it fixed a lot of the issues I've seen online that people had. It's a great improvement. I've heard good things from CSLDD users as well. The pedal update was great because that's been a long-standing issue with the brake input flickering issue. And yeah, I think this will be great news. Make a lot of people happy for sure. It was a long time coming, but you know, better late than never, I guess. I spent several hours driving on this update and I've ran into 0 issues personally so far. I honestly have like 0 complaints. Like, I couldn't be any happier. This is what we needed. Well, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're looking for help. There's always the Fanatec forums. There's some great guys in there that are always willing to help. Let me know if you've had a similar experience, if a lot of your issues were solved, or if you noticed any improvement in the force feedback. And I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more content on sim racing, Fanatec gear, just sim racing gear in general. I'm always, you know, finding new ways to tinker with stuff, or how to, you know, make the experience as best as it possibly can be. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the track. Take it easy.